Long ago, in a small village nestled deep in the heart of the bayou, there lived a voodoo priestess by the name of Mama Lola. She was feared and respected by the villagers, who believed that she had the power to bring good luck or curse those who crossed her. Mama Lola was a master of the dark arts, and she had a secret weapon that was said to be more powerful than any spell or potion an evil voodoo doll. This doll was said to be imbued with the spirits of the dead and could be used to control the actions of anyone it was made to resemble. The villagers lived in fear of the voodoo doll, and many whispered that anyone who dared to cross Mama Lola would end up with the doll made in their image. One day, a young woman by the name of Marie, who had grown tired of the villagers' superstitions, decided to confront Mama Lola. She went to the old woman's shack, determined to put an end to the fear that the voodoo doll had caused. Marie knocked on the door and Mama Lola answered, a sly smile on her wrinkled face. "What brings you to my humble abode, child?" Marie stepped forward, her voice trembling with anger. "I want to know the truth about the voodoo doll. I want to know what power it holds and how it is used." Mama Lola cackled, her eyes gleaming with malice. "The voodoo doll is my most powerful weapon, child. It is imbued with the spirits of the dead and can be used to control the actions of anyone it is made to resemble. But be warned, the power of the doll comes at a cost. Those who use it will be consumed by the darkness, and their souls will belong to me forever." Marie was horrified by Mama Lola's words, but she refused to be intimidated. "I won't let you control the villagers with your dark magic. I'll destroy the voodoo doll and put an end to your reign of terror." Mama Lola's smile disappeared, replaced by a scowl. "You think you can destroy the voodoo doll? It is indestructible, created by the spirits of the dead themselves. But if you insist on trying, you'll have to get past me first." With that, Mama Lola launched herself at Marie, her claw-like hands outstretched. But Marie was quick and she managed to dodge the old woman's attack. She ran towards the back of the shack, where she knew the voodoo doll was kept. As she searched for the doll, Marie heard Mama Lola's cackling laughter behind her. "You'll never find it, child. The doll is hidden where even the light of day cannot reach." Marie refused to give up and she kept searching, her determination growing with each passing moment. Finally, her hand closed around a small object hidden in the shadows. She pulled it out and saw that it was the voodoo doll. Marie held the doll in her hands, studying it closely. It was crudely made, with rough stitching holding together the pieces of cloth that made up its body. Its eyes were empty, but Marie could feel a malevolent energy emanating from it. Without hesitation, Marie stabbed the doll with a needle, destroying it. Mama Lola let out a blood-curdling scream as she felt the power of the doll slip away. She lunged at Marie, her eyes wild with rage. But it was too late, the doll was destroyed and Mama Lola's power was gone. Marie emerged from the shack victorious, but also shaken by the experience. She knew that the voodoo doll had been a powerful tool in Mama Lola's arsenal, and that it had been used to control and manipulate the villagers for far too long. Marie knew that she had to tell the villagers what had happened, and she set out to do just that. She went from door to door, telling the villagers the truth about Mama Lola and the voodoo doll. At first, the villagers were skeptical, but as Marie showed them the remains of the doll, they began to believe her. Many of them apologized for not believing her sooner and for being afraid of Mama Lola's dark magic. Marie's bravery had saved the village from Mama Lola's evil voodoo doll, and the villagers were forever grateful. They knew that they could trust Marie, and that she would always be there to protect them from harm. Marie's name became synonymous with courage and strength, and she was hailed as a hero throughout the village. The villagers knew that they could always count on Marie to protect them from the darkness that threatened to consume them. The shack of Mama Lola was burned down, and her evil spell and voodoo doll were never seen again, but some villagers still have nightmares about the voodoo doll and the power it held. They knew that they should never underestimate the power of dark magic and the consequences of playing with it. More than a century had passed since Marie had destroyed the evil voodoo doll and saved the village from Mama Lola's dark magic. The villagers had long since forgotten the terror that the doll had once caused, and the village had grown and prospered over the years. But one day, a group of archaeologists, while they were excavating an ancient burial ground, stumbled upon an old, forgotten chest. As they opened the chest, they were shocked to find the remains of the voodoo doll, carefully preserved and untouched for over a century. The archaeologist immediately contacted the authorities, and soon, the news of the discovery of the voodoo doll spread throughout the village like wildfire. The villagers were terrified, remembering the legends of the doll and the power it held. They feared that the doll could still be used for evil, and they turned to the town's historian, a descendant of Marie, for help. The historian, a young woman named Sophie, knew the story of the voodoo doll and her ancestor Marie well. She knew that the doll had been powerful and dangerous, and she feared that it could still be used for evil. Sophie knew that she had to act fast, before the doll fell into the wrong hands. She gathered a group of her trusted friends and set out to find a way to destroy the doll once and for all. They searched through ancient texts, seeking a way to destroy the doll, and found an ancient ritual that was said to have the power to banish the spirits that imbued the doll with its power. Sophie and her friends gathered the necessary ingredients for the ritual and set out to perform it. They performed the ritual at the spot where the doll was found. It was a dangerous ritual, and they knew that they were risking their lives. As they completed the ritual, the doll let out a blood-curdling scream, and the spirits that had been trapped inside were finally released. But instead of crumbling to dust, the doll began to move on its own, animated by the spirits that had been trapped inside. The group was shocked and scared, realizing that the doll was not just an inanimate object anymore, but a being controlled by the spirits that imbued it. The doll attacked them with deadly force, and the group had to fight for their lives. They fought hard, using everything they had learned from the ancient texts and all their strength, but the doll was too powerful. Just when all seemed lost, Sophie remembered a passage from the ancient texts that said that the doll could only be destroyed if it was stabbed by the same needle that was used to create it. Sophie remembered that her ancestor, Marie, had used a needle to destroy the doll many years ago. She searched her ancestors' things and found the needle, still in perfect condition. With the needle in hand, Sophie charged towards the doll, and with one swift strike, she stabbed the doll in the chest. The doll let out a final scream, and it finally crumbled to dust. The spirits that had been trapped inside were gone forever. The villagers were relieved, knowing that the doll was gone, and the spirits were no longer able to harm them. They thanked Sophie and her friends for their bravery and for saving the village once again. Sophie and her friends knew that they had inherited the courage and determination of their ancestor, Marie, and they were proud to have continued her legacy of protecting the village from harm. The village was finally at peace, and the voodoo doll was nothing but a distant memory.
Leave a like and subscribe for more scary stories.